Hi folks, uh, this is my Freeplay Plus wind-up radio that I bought probably almost 20 years ago. 16 or something, well, yeah, 16 years ago maybe I bought this thing, and I showed this on another video, and I explained that I had fixed it, and now something else is wrong with it. This on-off switch no longer functions. Now, I think that's pretty unfortunate. I've only maybe turned this thing on and off, I'd say 100 times, and it's broken. Now, if I was a villager in a remote third world country, I'd be very unhappy about that, because it won't work with that thing broken. Now, previously, the wind-up was very noisy, and I fixed that problem, and that problem is fixed, and that wasn't even that hard to do. But for this, I would need a part, and also a soldering iron, and at least some pretty basic technical skills in order to get that thing apart. And hopefully I'll be able to desolder the potentiometer with on-off switch off of the board, find a replacement, and then solder it back on and see if I can get this thing to work, because it won't work the way that it is. Now, on the back here, you got screws. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws, and that's what has to come off. Now, the best thing to use is a Phillips screwdriver, and this is a number 1 Phillips, and it'll work. I think a number 2 will work also. And you could also use a flathead, regular standard screwdriver to do this, but it has to be long, because it won't reach all the way to the bottom here on these. A short one like this isn't good enough. So I'm going to go ahead and take these screws out and see what I'm up against as far as replacing that switch. And hopefully it will not be a very big challenge, because I'm in no way a soldering expert or radio expert or anything like that. I'm in no way, and this would be better if it was magnetized, but get that out. There's another one, and there's one here. Anyway, I'll take these out, and when I'm done, I'll turn this back on. So I've got the screws out, and the next step is to just open it up. So once you open it up, this is what you got. It's not too hard to get at anything, luckily. And here's this is the offending part is right here, and I'm going to have to take that out and see if I can find a replacement for it. Now, previously on the wind-up portion of it, I took these off and I just lubricated the bearings and so forth with just everyday lubricating oil, and that quieted this thing down quite a lot. But this time it's going to be a little bit more challenging to fix this, and I'm going to have to see what I got going on here. So I'm going to look at this a little more carefully, and then I'll turn this camera back on again. So I've gotten the board out, and I've been able to look at this potentiometer, and it's a B100K. Now, I looked online to see if I could find one, and I was able to find a bunch of them, mostly coming from overseas, of course, Thailand in particular. But the problem is that none of them look identical to this one. So what I'm going to have to do is remove this from the board and bring it with me to an electronics store and see if they can help me, because I don't really know enough about these things to really be certain about what I'm doing. And I could solder, I could get something else and put it on, but if it's not exactly the same, I wouldn't know if I'm doing it right or not. So I'm going to have to bring this with me to that electronics store, and maybe I can do that on Monday. So all I can do is ask you to wish me luck, because at this point I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix this or not. So in order to get this off, I have to desolder here, here, and on the front of the board, 1, 2, 3. Plus, there's this nut that has to come off of here as well in order to get this off this board. Anyway, here it is. I got it out, and now I have to find a replacement for this thing. So that's really about it for this video. Thanks for watching.
You